Good afternoon and welcome. First of all, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to God who put me and keeps me on this path, and is truly my footsteps in the sand. My name is Rodney Wade, and my life was a wreck before I came to Twin Cities Rise. I pretty much self-sabotaged everything. I moved to Minnesota in October of 2010 from Chicago, and I came in search of a new life, a fresh beginning. I had no family or friends here, so I moved into a homeless shelter in downtown St. Paul. And I would wake up every morning and I would pray the Lord's Prayer in the 23rd Psalm, and I would ask God for three things: strength, wisdom, and guidance. From my first day at Twin Cities Rise, they shared their strength, and in the months that followed, they gave me guidance and the tools to live my life more wisely. I'd like to take a moment to tell a story that some of you may or may not have heard. It's a story about a man whose boat sank in the ocean, and he found himself treading water and looking at the sky and saying, "God, you said you never forsake me." A cruise ship came by, lowered his life raft, and he refused to get in. Once again, saying, "God, you said you never forsake me." Well, a Coast Guard helicopter came by and did the same thing, lowered his life raft, and he refused to get in. Eventually, he found himself standing in heaven before God, and he asked God, "God, why did you forsake me?" God replied, "Who do you think sent the cruiser and the helicopter?" I'm going to continue with that story a little later in my speech because it has a point for me. I've been working since I was 8 years old, so I knew how to work. My operations manager tells me that I have a great work ethic. I knew that I wanted to work to support my daughter, who was a senior in high school when I moved to Minnesota. Today, she's a sophomore at Howard University and my greatest fan. TCR refined the job skills I had. They helped with my resume. Career services and the volunteers were absolutely priceless. But what really made the difference for me was personal empowerment. I was open-minded enough when I came to TCR to change, but change itself wasn't a problem for me. The problem was sustaining that change. On my first day at TCR, I had an Empowerment Foundations class, and my instructor, who was also my coach, he introduced me to a word, and that word was metacognition, defined as thinking about one's own thoughts and the factors that influence our thinking. The factors that influence our thinking. That was the beginning for me, the connection with core hurts and core values. You see, I grew up in a world of violence, abuse, and torture, inside and outside of my home. And as we talked about core hurts, it gave me an opportunity to identify issues and look for solutions to those issues. Core values taught me that I could love myself as well as others. Empowerment taught me that I needed to learn to let things go. I had to learn to be able to forgive myself because I was my own worst critic. I had to change the way I think in order to change the way I live. Personal empowerment taught me that my perspective was all wrong. It is not the world that defines a man's character, yet it is his character that defines his world. I remember the first time I met Shelley Jacobson, and we had a conversation, and it was about miracles, and I was telling her that miracles happen every day, and it's not about winning the lottery. It's not about Peter falling from the sky. I believe God's greatest miracle are the people that he puts in our lives, times of stress and need. And after the conversation with Shelley, I knew that I have found a family. TCR became my family, and I knew I was at home. Today, I'm a graduate of the Twin Cities Rise program. I've been on my job for 13 months and 2 days as a fulfillment specialist at Northern Brewer Homebrew Supply in Roseville. And this job has been a great fit for me because they allow me the flexibility to continue to address issues in my life. But what I like most about my job are the people that I work with. The sense of pride and commitment we have towards working as a team, my management's open door policy, and their commitment to this program. Northern Brewer currently employs 8 full-time TCR participants, all hired in the last 15 months. They've taken in additional help as seasonal workers and part-time workers on an as-needed basis. It's a relationship that I hope will continue to grow. My goals for the future are to give back as those have given so freely to me. And I'd like to tell you why I told the story about the man in the ocean. You see, that man in the ocean was me, treading water and often drowning in a sea of insanity that used to be my life. I truly believe that every person in this room, from the contributors to the partnership companies, the volunteers, instructors, and the staff of TCR are life rafts. And because of this program, I stand here before you today, a different man, a stronger man, a better father, and a contributing member of society. And for that, I thank you. In closing, my name is Rodney Wade, and I am the 2012 Robert Morris Personal Empowerment Award recipient and Twin Cities Rise's greatest fan. And I thank you.